Right when Game Master Joel had us all fully occupied with the quickly evolving orders, we got surprised with an update of a different nature, or as I'd like to call it, the balance update. However, I've seen enough responses to know that some of you think of the unbalanced update to be a better fit, but let's look at this update for what it is and isn't. Welcome back to the channel, I'm Stefan, and let's have a look at this update that seemingly has a substantial part of the community up against the ceiling, to put it dramatically. So many subsequent updates have landed as I'm making this video, so I've tried to include them best I could here for progressive insight purposes. Thank you for your support on all of my latest content, it's greatly appreciated. If you've enjoyed it and haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notifications bell to receive my upload alerts. A one-liner used by Arrowhead is, "A game for everyone is a game for nobody." Well, the same concept sure goes for this update because a lot of people are not happy with some of the changes, in particular to certain weapons. What does all of this mean for your Helldivers fun experience? Well, let's go take a look. As we were seeing a growing divide between meta build players and people using whatever weapon they felt like, this update is out to bring balance to the Force, or in a more correct context, Super Earth. In line with this, the weapons of choice for a lot of people, especially solo players, the railgun, shield backpack and, last but not least, the breaker shotgun have been nerfed. Hours after the update landed, Patrick Lasoda, Arrowhead's head of product testing, shared some insights in the choices made in and reasoning behind the balancing. I have since the game released seen many who say don't nerf, only buff, and other similar ideas. However, as a designer I can tell you that this is not a great idea, but I understand where the sentiment comes from. All too often in the games industry, the core fantasy and what makes a weapon feel good and fun is ignored for the sake of balance. I believe players are scared of nerfs because it'll ruin the fantasy of a weapon, ruin their fun. It is extra important to us to tread carefully so that we don't ruin fantasy and fun when we do nerfs. We hope you, our players, will tell us when we cross that line inadvertently. Well, as you might have already seen on the internet or experienced in game, to some people the line has been crossed, especially when it comes to our ability to take down heavy armor targets. Charger, I'm looking at you. And Arrowhead has already responded hours after posting the update, letting us know they heard our concerns and are looking into it. I have to say, I'm loving the fast and genuine responses by Arrowhead Games. They're really listening to players and are being very agile in their efforts to fine-tune the overall experience, in addition to bringing in new content, but I'll come to that in a bit. So, weapons, starting with the breaker. It hasn't changed DPS wise, its mag capacity has been lowered from 16 to 13 and its recoil has been increased. So all in all, no major changes for the breaker. The railgun, however, has taken a huge turn in effectiveness against heavy armor, and boy, the difference is like day and night. Shots bouncing off left and right against one target is bad enough, let alone 2, 3 or 4 of them at the same time. Arrowhead is saying the following about this. Another one of the current meta weapons enforced by its convenience and efficiency. The railgun is really intended to be a high-powered anti-tank sniper rifle, requiring both timing with the unsafe fire mode and accuracy with where you hit the enemy. It was vastly overperforming in how safe it was to use and how convenient it was, not requiring a backpack or assistance to be effective, and not requiring risk to take out even larger armored targets. To that end, we have changed it so that the safe mode is capable of penetrating medium armor such as automaton scoutwalkers, but not more heavily armored enemies like chargers and bowl titans. For those targets you must now run it in unsafe mode and overcharge it. In addition, we reined in the railgun's ability to damage massive body parts, meaning to get any real efficiency out of it, you must score hits on heads and other weak points. We are aware it rose to prominence as part of other anti-tank weapons not being as convenient or effective in comparison. We're monitoring the situation closely and will adjust more based on how this change plays out. I guess we'll have to up our skill levels on using the railgun in unsafe mode whilst running, turning and diving. I mean, I know I sure have to. The shield generator pack now needs more time before recharging, leaving you vulnerable for a longer period of time. Since the railgun plus shield pack was a favorite loadout, this combo has now become more skill demanding to use. So let me know in the comments, how do you feel so far about the weapon nerfs? Other weapons such as the flamethrower, laser cannon and both the 120mm and 380mm orbital barrages have received some TLC, and with the meta weapons having been toned down, people are now looking to see if these have a new place in their builds. This all results in a more challenging experience, especially for solo players, in particular for the level 7 and up difficulty missions. This update therefore seems to steer us more towards teamwork, which I like. Being 4 silent bobs in a team without any coordination or strategy is becoming less and less likely this way when wanting to effectively and efficiently finish a mission. Another major change that feels somewhat unnoticed due to the emphasis people placed on the weapons, but armor has been fixed. At least to the extent that the armor values per type, so light, medium, heavy, now provide the intended amount of protection. That said, boy, how fast can you die in the light armor? First time I stepped onto the battlefield and took a few hits, it felt like being nude. It seems like the values that were true all this time were derived from the heavy armor. It'll take some getting used to, having to get acquainted once more with the armor type you prefer. Giant bugs or killer robots are no longer your only concern on the battlefield because we now have planetary hazards. So in the form of tremors and meteor storms, the latter being particularly effective at killing everyone and everything with equal measure. Their addition adds another layer to the game, which I think is cool at making different planets feel diverse. I have some honorable mentions here, but I just want to highlight some of them. The farming of eradicate missions has been addressed. Right now they need more time to complete and requiring more kills to complete, so long story short, an inevitable adjustment. Another great improvement that's not mentioned per se in the patch notes is the end of mission summary. Now this has been sped up tremendously, saving a huge chunk of time and not making you wait too long before being able to get to another mission. Right now, everyone is really trying to find their way around these changes and how it has affected their personal playstyle. Regardless of how you feel about them, it's good to realize that we're able to play a game where the developer is putting so much effort, attention and transparency into improving and expanding it. Again, as I'm working on this video, I've seen news pop up about mechs, a new war bond and another major order change, so we'll still have plenty to keep ourselves occupied with. Now, I'll be covering it as fast as I can, as soon as I can. For now, a big shout out to all more than 800 subscribers in supporting the channel. Thank you guys for all the great comments and likes. If you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to the channel if you liked this content and hit the notifications bell to receive my upload alerts. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.